Interesting conversation going on yesterday on Twitter where uh, Mark Cuban, who is a globalist shill, Mark Cuban is a rich guy that desperately wants people to think he's smart. Just like um, there are so many hot girls out there that desperately want you to think they're intellectuals. Mark Cuban is not a smart individual. He worships at the very same globalist teat that any moron with a gender studies degree would. And he's been getting absolutely dragged on Twitter, and I'm 1,000% here for it because it's great. He single-handedly has basically disproven DEI. He has basically accidentally proven that DEI is a joke. And he's been fruiting in his looms ever since, having a complete malding meltdown on Twitter about it. And perhaps he needs a new change of underwear. And I've got the perfect solution for you, Mark. Check out Sheath. Huge shout out to this video sponsor, Sheath. Look, fellas, particularly, I know it can be a little bit weird to be thinking about changing out your underwear, something you've been wearing basically the same thing for as long as you can remember. But allow me to give you a couple of reasons why. And plus, ladies, Sheath also has a lot for you as well. Look, fellas, first of all, the boxers are designed to keep your balls off your legs. Sheath has 2 individual compartments to keep everything down there separate and comfortable. Traditional boxer briefs are barbaric, invented during the Neanderthal era. Sheath has a modern ergonomic design intended to prevent skin-on-skin contact for long durations, which can build heat, sweat, and smell, fellas. There's an inverted kangaroo pouch for your joey to keep you from sticking to your thigh. You'll chafe and readjust less because everything is cool and in a separate compartment. They were invented by a U.S. Army soldier who came up with the idea for Sheath during his second tour in Iraq, where it was hot as heck and his boys needed to breathe. He invented these underwear to keep your boys cool and comfortable. He's basically a hero. And again, I know it's a weird thing to think about changing, but I'm telling you, once you try Sheath's products, men and women, there's a wide variety of sizes available. I think you're really gonna love them. So click the link below and use code TheQuartering at checkout, or go to sheathunderwear.com/thequartering for 20% off. And hey, you'd be doing your balls a huge favor. Hey, I know it might be a little weird to think about trying some different underwear, especially for you fellas out there, but I assure you, you're really gonna like the product, and the ladies like it too. Longtime channel supporter, link in the description below. Elon Musk isn't convinced by Mark Cuban's defense of DEI. His hypocrisy convinces no one. Even I ratioed Mark Cuban. That's telling you something. So Mark Cuban has been out on Twitter trying to totally epically pwn Elon Musk. And Elon Musk destroyed the entirety of Mark Cuban's worship of diversity, equity, and inclusion in like a 5-word Twitter reply. Mark Cuban is desperately trying to signal his virtue, but his hypocrisy convinces no one, Musk wrote on Thursday. LOL, Mark Cuban replied. Cuban had published several X posts on the benefits of DEI policies on Wednesday. Cuban's posts were made in response to Musk's criticisms of DEI. You may not agree, but I take it as a given that there are people of various races, ethnicities, orientations, etc., that are regularly excluded from hiring consideration. Well, it sounds like he's telling on himself for being racist. By extending our hiring search to include them, we can find people who are more qualified. So again, Mark Cuban has the problem, not the system. And what's absolutely great is the way that this has shaken out on Twitter is epic. So he goes on and he's like, he's completely melting down about how great DEI is and blah, 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 blah. So of course he gets a simple reply from Elon Musk saying, you know, why don't you have any small Asian girls on your basketball team? And that, you know, that's it right there. You see, Just then, Elon Musk obliterates Mark Cuban, asks him when he's going to hire a short, white/Asian woman on the Dallas Mavericks as an NBA basketball team, for those of you that don't know, after Cuban challenged him about DEI. And you can see, like, he absolutely ratioed him into oblivion. Absolutely demolished. Because it's, of course, not, and the best part about it is, shout out to whoever this is, Wei Wu, a Chinese international student, for absolutely going, I play basketball, Mark Cuban. I can be your point guard. Make Maverick most DEI. I don't know if this is a parody account, but if the broken English is on purpose, absolute genius. If the broken English is not on purpose, absolute genius. Shout out to Wei Wu. It probably is a parody account. I don't know. But look at this. 52,000 likes. Here's Clifton Duncan. This is the best tweet ever. Hello, black friend. I appreciate. My English improves every day. Soon I'm Chinese Shakespeare. So I'm assuming this is a parody account. I don't know for sure. It's difficult to know for sure these days, but I suspect it's a parody account. Or maybe it actually says it. It does not say it, but I'm sure it is a parody account, just based on the people that follow them. But like, what's so hilarious to me is that, like, this is me at my $15 million job to make Maverick most DEI. Please make dream reality. I mean, absolute obliteration. And then, to make things worse, James O'Keefe gets in there, okay, and absolutely melts down. Because James O'Keefe, so here's his long thread, right? Talks about how great DEI is. I'm not going to read it. It's the same globalist, boring crap you've heard from any, run-of-the-mill gender studies student anywhere, right? So it goes on, right? Ashley St. Clair, conservative influencer, writes, DEI is not seen as a core competency in most companies. It's just a huge expense. Yes, and anytime you make something like DEI a requirement, it will turn into checklists and eventually a lucrative industry. Well, I talked about yesterday that industry-wide, according to, I think it was MSNBC or CNBC, total open positions in diversity, equity, and inclusion hiring spots are down 44%. And in other spots, the jobs have been reduced by as much as 55%. Because, quite frankly, diversity, equity, and inclusion is a creation of really good financial times. Really, really good really good financial times. So then he goes, can you give specifics? The scenarios are used are just what I have to know, right? So then conservative influencer and everyone wants to date, right, brings up James O'Keefe's video. Breaking leaked video of CEO of IBM admits to using coercion to fire people and take away their bonuses unless they discriminate in the hiring practices. This was a bombshell report from James O'Keefe from 2023. To which Mark Cuban simply says, and you really think a James O'Keefe edited video is an objective representation of the event? Well, this very person came out and admitted that it was totally real. He admitted it was totally real. To which I replied and ratioed him, victory lap, ratio Mark with Mark. Did you watch the video? No. Did you refute any of the points? No. For some sort of big brain guy, you don't seem very well researched or interested in learning anything that may infringe on your religion of wokeness. Which is true. And then James O'Keefe also dunked on him. You get Mike Cernovich coming in. If James O'Keefe offers to bring you the unedited video, will you watch it? To which then Mark Cuban copes and slithers away and says, Well, actually, the video's from 2021. No mention of that. So it's not like it's a video from 2000 or from 1801. The video is a whole 2 years old. Thus, it disqualifies the things that it was said. So Mark Cuban still is such a coward mental midget that he's like, oh well, actually, it's from 2021. No mention of that. He does a stand-up in front of IBM to make it appear as if it's new. He says it's in the light of IBM leaving X. You can't make it appear as if nothing what he said, none of what he said here did he refute. Also, Mark, it says it literally in the video, 2021. So Mark Cuban didn't even look at the freaking video, right? And then he says, oh, you are correct. He played it off as new, but I stand corrected. Dude, take the L. Like, absolute L. And by the way, then I want to pull up James O'Keefe's tweet because it was perfectly worded, because none of what Mark Cuban's endless mauling did. You see here, James O'Keefe quote tweeting Mark Cuban. Name one lie, Mark. One lie. How have I misrepresented the event in the video? When you make a claim, you gotta back it up. Let's see if Mark Cuban's in the replies here. Let me see. I don't know. I have a feeling if Mark Cuban was in the replies, he would say, I mean, Mark Cuban absolutely embarrassing himself. He doesn't even bother to understand the woke ideologies that he himself is pushing. He himself is out on Twitter being made to look like an absolute fool. An absolute fool. And he's just flailing. Absolute. I mean, nothing that he said was untrue, but Mark Cuban is like out here absolutely mauling over it. The whole specter around diversity, equity, and inclusion and all this crap, the shine is off of it. People know it doesn't work. Companies know it doesn't work. That's why they're all rapidly cutting spending on it. And Mark Cuban's the last guy standing out here trying to defend it and getting absolutely dragged, rightfully so, on X and anywhere else he opens his stupid mouth. Hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon. These people want this stuff to happen. At least that's my opinion. I hope this video helped make you think about stuff a little bit, and we'll talk to you again real soon.